You do not, you need your paper only. Bring your paper. Rule 1. Boys and girls, scoot this way a little bit. Scoot over here. Scoot that way. We're ready in 4. We're ready in 3. Good job, everybody. Thank you for your help coming in. You're ready in 2. You're ready in 1. Okay. So this is always difficult when we bring close to the carpet with something to hold on to. Okay? Show me hands free. That means you're going to put your paper down exactly. Put your paper down somewhere. Hands free. Okay. Your paper can go beneath your legs, next to your shoes. It can be on the ground for a minute. Okay? But it definitely has to be out of your hands somehow. Okay? It can be in your lap. But it's out of your hands. Okay, first up, I would like to just recognize that we've been working on asking questions and learning about our reading for a half hour. And you have done wonderfully. But after a half hour, I'm like, wow, they need a break. So we came to the rug, because we're still not done with our lesson. Okay? So I just want to recognize you all. Pat on the back again, please. You did a great job for that first half hour. But I also need to give you a little break, so we moved a little bit. Okay? All right, here we are. So we have just figured out that the March on Washington was for people to act against the laws that were hurting many Americans, especially African Americans and other folks throughout the nation. Okay? But let's read a little bit more. Okay? If you'd like to hold up your paper and follow the reading, you can. Otherwise, you're listening. I'm on the 3rd paragraph, says the United States. Okay? All right, please listen. The United States was a very different place in 1963 than it is today. In many areas of the South, that's the southern United States, with states like Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, black people were segregated. There's that comma again. Segregated, comma, or separated. So segregated means separated. That comma lets us know the definition was coming. Black people were segregated or separated from white people. So that's by skin color. African Americans couldn't attend certain schools or eat in certain restaurants. Laws in some states kept many black people from voting. A lot of businesses refused to hire black workers. That's the paragraph, okay? The laws kept people separated based on skin color, okay? That was not fair, it was hurtful. That's why there was a march to protest these laws, okay? And the leader, or one of the many leaders of the Civil Rights Movement, come on girls, have a seat. One of the many leaders was Dr. Martin Luther King. And he made a speech in 1963 in Washington, D.C. Now, I'm going to reread. Oh, hold on, we're not quite ready. You got it? Excellent. Eyes on me, please. Eyes on me. I'm going to reread that paragraph. Your job is to think of a who question or a where question. If you really want to, you can also think about a when, why, or how question if you like. Okay? Again, I'm going to read the paragraph once more. You're going to think of another question to ask. Are you ready for that? Okay, here we go. Same paragraph. The United States was a very different place in 1963 than it is today. In many areas of the South, black people were segregated or separated from white people. African Americans couldn't attend certain schools or eat in certain restaurants. Laws in some states kept many black people from voting. A lot of businesses refused to hire black workers. Think about the question. Where, who, why, how? Repeat your question, please. If you're the partner sitting on the window side, so these two are partners, he's on the window side, he's going to talk first. Are you two partners? Yeah. So the young lady in the purple, sitting closer to the window, she's going to talk first. Who's going to talk first in your partnership? He is. Oh, she is? Okay. Who's your partner? Okay, then you're talking first, right? All right, if you have a question, I want you to share your question. Once you share your question, the other partner shares his or her question. Okay? Each of you share a question. And if you're really good, share another question if you want. Okay? Go ahead. My question is... All right. Back to me in 4, 3... Do you have one? 2... What color? Blue. Okay. Oh, I didn't have everybody's attention. What color? Blue. What color? Blue. Okay. All right. I wanted everybody's eyes. I appreciate those of you who created a question from this paragraph. If you created questions out of other paragraphs, that's helpful, but I want to focus on this paragraph. Okay? All right. I need 2 volunteers. Oh, by the way, I see some old hands. I want the new hands. If you haven't answered a question or raised your hand out here before, now's your time. Okay? We got old hand, right? You're an old hand too. Okay? Are you a new hand? Are you a new hand? No, she's here before? Who's it? Are you a new hand? Yes? Okay, what is your question? Thank you, old hands. Listen. Why can't the black people vote, or why couldn't the black people vote? That's an excellent question. There's actually laws that made it very tough. Okay, so thank you for the question. We're learning to ask questions. Excellently done. That was a girl. Come on, boys. A new boy. Who's a new boy? New boy? Yeah, there's lots of new boys. Come on, new boys. All right, old boy, go ahead. What's your question?
Why are they trying to make the black persons not vote?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions, a lot of why questions about segregation. Why were there laws and people who passed these laws? Why did they do that? Those are excellent questions. They're tough questions to answer. Look, I got my old hands back. Okay, because I let one old hand go, and now all the old hands want to answer. Okay, what is your question? Thank you. Why were the black people separated from the white people? By the way, in California, and throughout the United States, there's a lot of segregation. If you were Asian, predominantly Chinese, in the early 20th century, you were separated. If you spoke Spanish as a Mexican American or somebody else who spoke Spanish, you were often separated. It was not very safe for everybody. And times are still tough for some people. Okay? Segregation still happens sometimes. You know what I just learned from you all? You know how to ask questions. Challenge. I would like somebody to ask a how question or a when question, because I'm going to keep reading. Okay? Let's follow. Thank you for your volunteering. I'm going to read the bottom 2 paragraphs. Okay? And then I think we're wrap it up. Okay. Bottom 2 paragraphs. What's the first word of the paragraph there? People. Exactly. So impressed with your class, Mrs. Cunningham. Okay. People had come from across the country to attend the march. Robert Avery, who was 15 years old at the time, had traveled nearly 700 miles from Gadsden, Alabama. Quote, to see all of the people who were there, both black and white, young and old, coming together for a common cause, it made you feel really good, he says. Okay? So I'm going to retell the last 2 paragraphs, and then I want you to tell your partner a question, okay? All right. So, what happens in this next part of the article, oh, look at me please. Articles down, hands free. Okay, thank you for your eyes, thank you for your ears. So what happens is that all those people in Washington, D.C. who came to the memorial to participate in the march, okay, they just didn't live in Washington, D.C. They came from all over the United States. The author meets somebody who was there all those years ago. Now, in 2013, Robert Avery's not 15. He was 15 when he was there in 1963. So he's much older. So she finds a man, Robert Avery, who was at the march. And the author asks him, what was it like? What did you think? And so the quote is Mr. Avery thinking back when he was 15 years old, coming from Alabama, about what it was like. And he says, to see all the people who are there, both black and white, young and old, and there's men and women, folks who spoke English, folks who were learning English, folks who were Asian and Filipino and Chinese and Vietnamese and Mexican American, and they were from Colombia, who knows where they were from. They're from all over the world, all over the United States. He says to see all those people there, young and old, coming together for a common cause, which is the March on Washington. It made me feel really good. Okay? It was a tough time, but bringing everybody together made them feel really good. Okay? Now, would you please turn to your partner and ask a who, what, where, when, why, or how question. Okay? So my question is, and talk to your partner. Okay, but what's your question? What's your question? How did you get 700 miles? How did you travel 700 miles? Back to me in 3, back in 2, back in 1. Your attention, please. Marker this time? Blue. This time? Okay. I am very excited. We had a job to do today to ask and answer questions such as who, what, where, when, why, and how to demonstrate, to try and show, that we understand key details of this text. All of your questions have been about the information or the details about this article, including now about Mr. Avery. A detail of the article was to talk to Mr. Avery. Okay, that's part of, or a piece of, the article is a detail. And we've been asking about the details. Some answers, but the asking part I think is tough, and you all have done so well. I need 2 examples of questions, and I'm hoping somebody asks a when or a how question. Okay? You might not, but I'm hoping. Okay? I got my old hands. Where's my new hands? Where's my new hands? All right, I haven't taught this old hand in a while. Go ahead. Thank you.
How was the African American people segregated?
How were the African American people segregated from the white people? Okay? I'm going to give you one example as an answer. Okay, this is a very famous example. It's kind of sad, but this is what happened. In buildings, there were drinking fountains for white people and drinking fountains for everybody else. That's how they kept them separated. They just made different facilities or different things for each group of people. It wasn't very nice. It wasn't very nice. I need another question. Thank you for the how question. I appreciate that. That's what we're aiming for. You've had a lovely smile and been patient the whole time. Okay? So 1, 2, and then 3. Okay? And I want to thank you too, but I'm not going to call on you this time. And I'm going to thank you too, but we're not calling you this time. Okay, go ahead.
When did Robert Raleigh travel nearly 7,800 miles from Castle?
When? Yes, good question. When did he travel? Did he travel and get there just as the speech started? Did he travel early in August of 1963 and hang out with family and then went to the speech? That's an excellent when question. I don't know the answer to that one, right? We'd have to actually, Mr. Avery, when did you get there? Okay, thank you. Who was after this young lady? Was it you? Okay, go ahead. Listen please to your classmate. How did he travel? Did he drive a car? Did he fly? Did he walk? I don't know. Did he take a bus? I do know that a lot of folks, hold on. I do know that a lot of folks who didn't have a lot of money, so they didn't own a lot of cars, they didn't own their cars, so a lot of them took buses. I do know that part. Maybe he was a bus person, I don't know. Thank you for that excellent how question. Are you number 3, sir? No, you're number 3. Let's go for you. What's your question? Okay, well then I need to hear your question, even if it's the same thing. Repeat. Thank you for including the name. That's the detail. Thank you for including the name. How did he travel? That's a great question. 700 miles is a long way. There's a 4th, I thought. No? 4? All right, hands down. You all are getting good at this, and you want to keep going, don't you? That's excellent. That means we've done a good job. Okay, would row 1 return to their chairs, and I want to make a closing announcement. Okay, 2. Eyes on me in 1. Pencils down. Come on. Hands free. All right, we're good to go. All right, boys and girls. Today's lesson is not easy to do because I'm the new guest teacher, and I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been teaching in this room before, but you made it so easy that we got a lot done today because you participated. Oops, where's my job poster here? You tried, you stayed focused, you worked, you listened, you did your job. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Pat on the back. Here's what you have to say to your partner. To ask, let's see, how do I put this? I will write it down. To learn, let me think for a second. Thank you for being patient. Oh, I know, okay. To ask questions about the text. It was helpful when Mr. Gonzalez did what? Okay? So, think for a minute. To ask questions about the text. It was helpful when Mr. Gonzalez did what? What did I do? Did I give definitions? Did I read to you? Did I give you time to think? Or something else? Okay? So, here's the question. Keep thinking. To ask questions about what? About the text. That's what you're going to say to your partner. It was helpful when. And then you're going to say what I did in the lesson that was helpful so that you can ask questions. All right, let's see if that works, all right? Go ahead and talk to your partner. When to ask questions about the text, it was helpful when Mr. Gonzalez what? Okay, I need 4 folks, 4 new hands. Come on, new hands. Okay, new hands. You're sitting there smiling going, I'm a new hand. No, you're not. Okay, my young lady straight ahead who started off with the first thing, go ahead. You're not a new hand, but go ahead. To ask questions. Let's have a break for what? From working, yeah. Sometimes to do great work, you need to have a break there. Okay? Keep listening. I need 2 more. What else is helpful? What else is helpful? Yes, sir. Say, it was helpful when Mr. Gonzalez. When I asked. Oh, when I asked you questions too? Okay, I want you to give me yours. I heard your answer. Go ahead. Okay, gave you some ideas. Go ahead and give me yours. Your classmates.
It was helpful when Mr. Gonzalez gave us the answer to a question.
Oh yeah, well we have this whole part here where it says answer the questions. We didn't do too much of that today, but I did give some answers to your questions. I'm glad that information was helpful to you. Okay? Now, turn back to your partner. What is one thing you did so that you could do your best learning? So one thing I did was, and look at the clock, did I focus? Okay, boys and girls, back to me, 3, 2, 1. How many fingers? How many fingers? How many fingers? Okay. Ms. Cunningham, if I could put you on the spot for a moment. What is one thing your class did, or an individual, or a couple of individuals did, that you were proud to see today? We're going to celebrate them.
Yes, they participated by turning to their partners, sharing their answers, sharing them with you.
Great.
Good participation.
We're always watching. We're wanting you to do your best. Okay. Have a seat, please, and turn to Ms. Cunningham. You guys have been great. Good job, everybody. Hey, you did it.